His marriage is ending.
My marriage is not ending. It's just on hiatus.
To put his family back together, Daniel Hillard needed a job.
Do you have any special skills?
I do voices.
Yeah!
Nancy and I are still looking for the other half of my head.
Look at me right now, Moneypenny. I want to undo that bow and get to know you.
Mr. Hillard, do you consider yourself humorous?
I used to.
And a decent home for his kids.
How do you like it?
Can't you just tell Mom you're sorry?
But he found a way.
I'm placing an ad for a housekeeper.
Housekeeper? Could you make me a woman?
To have both.
Wow. Let's pray.
Hello? Euphigenia Doubtfire.
Papa's got a brand new bed.
He's still the same old dad. Only better.
Dinner is served, madam.
I'd love to get reacquainted.
Can't you see the lust in that man's eyes?
Accent's a little kind of muddled there.
Really? Well, so's your tan.
The terrorists, they ran that way. It was a run by fruiting.
This holiday season,
Surprise!
Robin Williams, Sally Field,
Who needs a husband when I've got you?
in a Chris Columbus film,
Back off!
Mrs. Doubtfire.
God, it's hot in here.
A father's work is never done.
Oh! My first day as a woman. I'm getting hot flashes.
Robin has always been one of my screen idols. I mean, there are about 5 or 6 actors I really wanted to work with, and Robin is one of them. And for me, it was a dream come true. So it was really an opportunity to work with someone who I consider in the same sort of comedic league as Charlie Chaplin. You know, someone who really can combine emotion and brilliant comedy at the same time.
You wanted to get the one where I'd send them off, basically, like the, oh, Mrs. Doubtfire. For me, the best part about it all was to play someone totally unlike myself. That's why I wanted to do it. And it isn't just drag, but it was just the fact that it was like to have this character that really had a life of her own. And no longer does it look anything like myself, and you're free to be this woman and create her and to make her, you know, as funny as you can, but yet still be in character. There's certain boundaries.
Good. You go with the flow. I will, dear. You too. Boogie on, as they say. There we go till we drop. That's it.
And sometimes I would cross over them, but most of the time I could stay within her, who she was, and be this kind of sweet, blue-mouthed old woman, you know.
Which one?
What's the occasion?
It's my birthday.
Oh!
Sally was a leading contender from the very beginning. I think when everyone read the script, Sally, there's always several people that you have in your mind, but just it felt like Sally was really the right person for the role.
Sally is the actress with the most likable quotient I can imagine. She's an amazing actress. She is equally adept, like Robin, at comedy and drama. She can also keep up with Robin, which is very important. And she also, which is key to the picture, is likable to everyone in the theater. So no one dislikes Sally Field because of who she is. So you utilize her, what she brings to the picture in the character of Miranda, and she very much rounds out the character, and I think that's important.
Oh, that was great.
Oh, thank you. You look lovely. Oh, guys, I'm so glad you could make it.
Oh, by the looks of you, that water's so cold.
Yes, well.
Here you are, you're divorced, you really love your kids, you want to be with your kids, but you're unfortunately divorced, your wife doesn't love you anymore, and you're dressed as a 60-year-old woman. Here comes the new James Bond walking into their lives, the perfect guy. There's nothing wrong with him. He loves the kids, he loves her, he's going to give them a better life than Daniel Hillard ever could. What's more frustrating and more upsetting for Robin as Mrs. Doubtfire? To me, that was a perfect comedic combination.
The part was written really well. He could have been a jerk, and he was a likable character. He was a businessman who's made his fortune. He's got everything in life. Traveled, you know, but he doesn't have a family. And he falls in love with this woman, who's an old flame from his past, Sally Field, Miranda, and she just happens to have children.
The thing about Mara Wilson is she was completely new. She had not done any theater, she had not done any film work, she had done a couple of commercials. So she was like taking a real person and putting her in front of a camera. Daddy! With those three kids, I found a real sense of reality and naturalism. You've got Matt Lawrence, who's got a lot of film experience, a lot of TV experience, and also Lisa Jacob. I tried to find kids, though, who did not let that experience cloud their performance level. And those kids just, to me, were very real and very natural.
And background! Background, action!
What do you think of this? A suit, that's nice.
I'm getting good at this. I can become a woman in less than 5 minutes.
That's great. Took my friend Jimmy 10 years.
With Harvey Fierstein, it was a kindred spirit.
Because when you got that voice, what do you need, Dietrich? You're off and running. Bingo. When he says right there, I'm ready for my close-up, get real.
You know, he just flies right into him. I would say something, he could top it. I would top that. We would just go. You know, he builds up that.
It's not working. I need to go older.
Older? You mean like Shelley Winters older or Shirley MacLaine older?
What's the difference?
Some Scotch tape and red hair dye. We were booked to do this thing, and I was on my way to San Francisco, and somebody said, "Did you hear Robin is going to do this new movie, and he has a gay brother in it?" I said, wait a second, because I had seen Robin on Comic Relief Do Me, and I thought it was very flattering. So we get to San Francisco, and there's no dressing rooms. They have, like, these buses out in the parking lot. So I'm sitting in my trailer, and I see him coming, and I tear the door open. I said, "How dare you? How dare you use my voice in vain?" And he started laughing, and I said, "Now, give me the job of your brother." And he turned to Marcia and said, "That's a good idea." 2 weeks later, I got a call. I had the job.
Could you make me a woman?
Honey, I'm so happy.
I knew you'd understand.
Every great actor to me, you can see their soul through their eyes. And that's the thing that's wonderful about Robin. You can see the pain in his heart, you can see the joy in his soul through his eyes. And I found that finding every other actor in this picture, I looked at their eyes. I looked into their eyes to see what I could find.
I don't know. This was scared the children. Do you think so? I don't know. Maybe this was too much for them.
I think we have to go to the next level. Latex.
It's not just like the movies where if you're dressed up as a woman, you can fool people because they don't know who you are anyway as a man. You have to fool your own family. You have to fool especially your wife, who's seen you with nothing on.
You remind me of someone.
People say, you know, there's that method acting of, you know, you create the character and it kind of comes from within. This is one of those things that, as they added the elements, she appeared.
I always felt that Mrs. Doubtfire would be the grandmother that you always wanted, you know, the perfect grandmother.
Hello, Mrs. Hillard, I presume?
Yes, I'm Miranda Hillard.
Euphigenia Doubtfire.
Greg Canham designed the makeup, and Greg did several different sculptures on Robin's face. And we actually had a picture of a woman who resembles Mrs. Doubtfire quite a bit, and it was a black and white picture taken in the 40s. And Greg sort of fashioned this makeup after this picture of this woman that we had.
That look took really one Saturday to perfect. The makeup pieces were put onto Robin. He went through makeup. We'd all decided on a particular wig and hair color that we liked. We found wardrobe that we thought was perfect for Mrs. Doubtfire, the right glasses, and then we did a videotape test. And on that particular videotape test, it's the first time you actually see Mrs. Doubtfire, and the first time Robin started to feel comfortable in the role. And it's an amazing sort of transformation. It's almost like a screen test because Robin just became Mrs. Doubtfire.
Hello, nice to meet you. I'm Euphigenia Doubtfire, and I'm very, excuse me.
They had a television monitor set up. It was like, ooh, look at that. Ooh, isn't she rose? And ooh, my fun bags. Look at that. I saw everything and all of a sudden started to play with the voice. It was just so freeing to be able to be someone totally different.
Hello, your name is? Fred.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Fred.
Go for it.
Please, Fred. You look like a biker.
The makeup, I think on a good day would take 3 hours, 3.5. Bad day, 4 hours, 4.5.
We knew we had to get it down from there because they wanted to be able to shoot with him for at least 10 hours a day. So if it took us 4 hours to get him ready and an hour to get him out at night, that was going to make for a very long day for Robin. So the more we did it, the faster we got. Robin's makeup is comprised of 8 overlapping foam latex appliances, and they fit together kind of like a jigsaw puzzle. At this point, I'm going in with a colored Pax paint. On top of the packs, I then go in with rubber mask grease paint, which I'm stippling on now, and that is also done in several layers. I'll do a flesh tone, then I'll go in with a pink tone, and then stipple a flesh tone back on top of it. Now Yolanda is placing the wig on, and there he is.
Will props have lipstick?
Are these what you want, sir?
That's Mom. It's her bodysuit. Looks like that old ancient fertility doll that they used to make, the one that was out of clay, the one that's like, yeah, with the, yes, with the amazing hands.
Are these real tits?
They're actually kind of frightening when you see them, because it's made out of like a spandex and beans, and it's like a walking beanbag chair.
Oh, it feels lovely. Oh, pardon me, it's riding.
He was sitting on the couch with my 2 sisters who's gonna be on the film, and I didn't know that it was Mrs. Doubtfire or Robin. I just thought, well, it could be like the social worker or the teacher or something. But then they introduced me, I was like, oh. And it wasn't even, the makeup wasn't even really done yet still. It was still in its like first stages, and it was really amazing then.
And you are?
I'm Chris.
Hello, Chris.
Yeah.
Hello. Oops.
At that time, the only thing that gave me away, because I hadn't yet shaved my hands, I was all of a sudden, they went, hello. Oh, jeez. They thought, here's this old, it's the monkey woman. Oh, my God, Sigourney Weaver's mother. What is it there? Look at that there. It's gorillas in the mist. Oh, no.
Let's also look at our hands today. Different makeups on different hands. No longer quest for fire.
He's instilled with the spirit of a 65-year-old woman. That's all I can say. I mean, he no longer becomes the person I know. He becomes this woman. I really feel like I'm not talking to him anymore, even when he uses his own voice.
Stop. Don't do that. There. No, no. Put it down.
The first voice was a little bit like that.
And then it softened up as she got softer, and it kind of, went from being Margaret Thatcher, transitioned a little bit into Julia Childs, and slowly but surely,
Chris seemed to like that voice more than anything. There, and then if we bring up the tone, up to there, and start to play with a little bit of our S's and our T's, we're very much in the zone, I think. But, and if I want to increase volume, if you're not coming down now, don't make me come up the stairs, because it will not be a pretty picture.
Sometimes the first time you see him, Mrs. Doubtfire, you get a little scared. It kind of scares you. But then he doesn't.
And Robin really made that character. I mean, he gave her a lot of heart, and it really, if it wasn't for him, I mean, I don't think it would have been able to be pulled off, because it was just done really well, and I think it was Robin that really made it.
Are we close?
Any closer, and you'd be Mom.